Hey, welcome to part 3 of the track breakdown for 73, my collaborative project with Amir De Bois, out on Diffrent Music. Parts 1 and 2 are available in the description, so go check those out if you haven't already. And finally, please smash the like button, hit subscribe if you enjoy the content. And yeah, without further ado, let's crack on with the video. The gritty effects, as they're called here, these I believe are mostly Amir's samples. The track started out with essentially this massive collection of these gritty samples that he had made he has this unique sound design process that I don't actually know too much about, but it's really interesting. The sounds that he does get, they're quite unique to his particular sound. So here the aim of the game is just to arrange them in a way which was pleasing, created repeatable patterns, but also lent itself to some progression, so that you can see here, this is basically unedited. A lot of this is just as it was created. And then once the B section comes in, that's when the edits start, taking that content, keeping it recognizable, but giving it a new twist. And it's not doing anything crazy, like it's not trying to create something completely new. It's just something that keeps your interest, keeps you kind of marching onwards. Again, processing on these sounds so great already because they've gone through a whole sound design session beforehand. And maybe that's a great topic for another video on how to create these kind of textural sounds. But doing these things separately means that when you get into the arrangement, when you get into the mix, you don't have to do much work. You just keep things super simple, bringing out some stuff, cutting some things, but for the most part, it's just corrective EQ rather than designing, which is a nice place to be in when you've got a complicated project. You can see these layers get pretty mad sometimes, and then we chill them out again, and then they get more complex. So having this overarching kind of idea of waves of energy. Second drop, we want everything to be picking up pace, so we've got more things happening. Got these little edits here and here, and then bringing back some of the earlier kind of showing off ideas, bringing them back, and yeah, just creating these patterns which repeat in different layer formats. So having maybe the gritty and the bass sounds, the gritty effects and the bass sounds that are a pattern here, then repeating them here but not having the same drum pattern there, just to give you the same kind of flavor but slightly different, always moving forward. And that's how to get that kind of hypnotic sound. On the effects, similarly textural stuff, just not as gritty. Although that's pretty gritty. That's one of my favorite sounds, actually. It just really adds space into the mix. I listened to it before. It also announces that these drums are going to come in a nice way. Yeah, just having that punctuate the little perk fill is great. And yeah, finally, to kind of put a bow on this stuff, it was missing some pads, and there are some things happening in the gritty effects which are pad-like, but they're, because of the way they were designed, they're very like part of the entire file. We couldn't kind of rip them out and reuse them. So we just needed a couple of layers of tension building stuff, and these are arranged very deliberately in this way so that they happen for the intro. They spill over the drops so that you don't have that sharp cut in atmosphere, which you're already getting a little bit from some of this content not being there. And then the B section removes it completely but introduces a new pattern there. And then as that pattern progresses, we want to tease that back in, ready for the breakdown. And then when we pick up the pace properly, or for the climax of the track, I would say, we don't need them, and we then use them again as a kind of way to transition into the outro. And listening to those, you can hear I've sidechained these slightly to the kick in a previous project and then bounce them out like that, because this is the mix project, and it just gives them a little bit of a pulse, which is nice. And it's the same again, it's actually the same pad but just lower to create a bit of a kind of tension leading into the pad. You can barely hear it. Yeah, so that pad is essentially a repeated pad. That's the track breakdown for our track 73. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, give a like and a thumbs up, whatever you need to do to get the algorithm to share this with other people.